looks like it's gonna be a beautiful day, guys. Sun's starting to come out finally. We haven't really seen this well over a week probably. We got a little bit of it yesterday afternoon, but it was still really cold. So really excited for today. Checking out a new area. We got a pretty far ways to take this cart, so we're gonna get on that. Right, y'all, we got the rest of the gear loaded up. We're gonna take the walk on down here. We gotta go down this sidewalk, and then it eventually turns into a beach, it looks like, down here. So gonna see how well my cart does in the sand today, 'cause most of the time that I've used it, it's been on semi hard surfaces, so looks like it's gonna get nice and soft up there, and yeah, it'll give us a nice idea of how well it's doing. Well, so far so good on the beach. I thought maybe at some point I would need some beach wheels. They're kind of like big balloons, but maybe I won't. I'm starting to get into some soft stuff up here. Well, the tide is definitely out today. It's low. Wow. It's very low. Looks like the water only comes up to about here. From the tide chart, it looked like it was going to be about 3/4 of a foot down negative tide. So I knew it was going to be low, but I just didn't think it was going to be this low. Wow. I'd say this cheap old Vivo cart did pretty good. That was some really soft sand and trucked right on through it. So good morning, y'all. We are finally out on the water. Chris from One More Cast is out here with me today. This is one of his good areas, so he's going to show me around. I've only been out here one time, and that was about 2 years ago. So I think everything that I learned that day just isn't going to apply to today. So it's a very low tide. We have about a negative 3/4 of a foot. So we're pulling around to get off these sandbars and stuff and off the beach. We're gonna try to get down into some deeper holes today. The tide's gonna be coming in all morning, so I think as the tide comes in and the sun starts to come up, it's gonna be one of the warmest days we've had in a few weeks. So we're hoping as the sun comes up and the tide comes in, it's gonna push some of these fish up onto the flats and see if we can't find something out here. So we're just gonna push around and see if what we can find. We're really just looking for any kind of fish, and gonna show you some tips along the way. So so everything is so shallow. We decided to get out and just walk around and see if we can find something. Looks like we got some mullet hanging out here, potentially some reds, so we're gonna peep around here real quiet. See, there's some stuff kind of pushing up here. We think it drops off down here, so we're gonna poke around this shoreline. Hopefully this drops off down here by the mangroves where we're seeing a little bit of some fish activity finally, and yeah, see if we can't get something to bite. The water is pretty clear, but very cold. I imagine the water temp is down in the 60s, potentially even the 50s. But the sun is coming up today. It's the first day we really had the sun in a while, so hopefully that'll... Oh wow, look at that in front of us there, guys. Yeah. Right, we could just grab it, yeah. But yeah, we're gonna poke around here, guys, and see if we can't get any of these fish to maybe bite. It's so cold that I'm not really sure if they're feeding yet, but they're moving around. It seems like the sun is starting to get everything a little bit active, so. There's a catfish stuck in the mud here. Chris, the nice guy he is, he's trying to save it. Yeah. He's a dumbass though, he's coming right back. Yeah. There you go. I'm going to show you how I work these guys. This is the Power Prawn Junior. And hope the camera's picking this up. You just let it sit down. You see how the tail kind of sits up? Just do little pops. Just nice little small movements. And that's what's going to get you some hits here. So, from more of a perspective, seeing with the pole and the reel, just small, yeah, just little pops, and then you reel in from there. You just reel in all your slack, work it nice and slow and low. You want to work it on the bottom, work real slow, and you're bound to get on something, guys. So turns out it's just a bunch of catfish out here, all in about ankle deep water. And some of them aren't really doing too well. There's a couple that are swimming with these guys in front of us. And we thought, since we found some fish moving, there would be a variety of fish. But literally every single one of them we've seen has been a catfish. And they're definitely struggling. So we're gonna work our way back off this sandbar, see if we can't find on some actual quality fish. And maybe we'll save a couple of these guys along the way. So stay tuned, guys. It should get better. This little shark right here cruising with us while we were waiting on the bar. Yeah, there he goes. See you later, buddy. But that's a good sign. We've seen some rays. We've seen some sharks now as we're working up here. It's a little bit better than catfish, right? So we keep seeing some of these deeper holes. There was a little bit of some bait moving around, so we're still moving around nice and stealthy, waiting around, see if we can find where all these fish are hiding on us. We know there's got to be some out here. It's just, where are they hiding? So for these Slim Shady 2.0s, I like to usually use a twist lock hook. So you point that guy dead center in the front. You just wind him up on the screw. It's a little easier to do when your hands aren't so wet. But there is a little slit, and that is the bottom. So what I always do is I line up the hook like this. So the hook wants to come out naturally right there. So that's where we're gonna stab it in and come straight out the top. And I like to rake these guys weightless, so I poke the barb just back into the bait, just slightly, like so. Let's see if that'll do something. Finally got something here. I think it's a little one. Little rat red. Yep. Alright guys, finally got a redfish. We have been pushing hard out here trying to get something, and they are picky today. It's pretty cold. Oh, but was able to get this guy here. He's no monster, but first redfish I've caught in a couple months, so I am stoked. It is worth all of the hard work. I just switched over to the Slam Shady 2.0. I've been throwing the prawn all morning because it's been better, but the small paddle tail is what they were wanting today. It's got this nice blue on his tail. I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not. Beautiful little fish. Let's get this guy released. Oh yeah, he's ready to go. Kicked right off. All right guys, awesome. I'm stoked. Now let's see if we can get on some more here. Chris is still pushing around with me. Chris still hasn't got on anything either, so hopefully we can both get on something here, and we're gonna keep pushing around. I think we finally found where the fish are hanging out. We've been seeing some activity. It's been hard to get them to bite, but finally got something, so right on guys, right on. Alright y'all, just a nice little quick update. We've moved to the furthest point that we're trying to go to today. Got that one red. It took quite a few hours. We launched a little bit before 8, and it was just a little before 11 before we caught that. So it took about 3 hours before we really got into some fish. We had to move around quite a bit, but we're gonna start to work our way back towards that area where we were seeing some fish, and slowly work our way back to launch. See if maybe we can't find some more reds. Maybe get on a trout and get real lucky and get a snook. So we're gonna keep poking around. It's still really cold out today. The sun is nice. It's warming everything up, but the water is still very cold. Some of the stuff has been moving around really slow today. So we've been poking around everywhere. We've been looking around a lot of these sandbars and all these grasses. There's a bunch of different potholes. We've been trying to fish all of those. So we've been after it out here. There is some fish. It's just so cold. Oh, Chris just pointed out we got some eagles above our heads, so this is a good sign. They're hanging out here fishing with us too. So I'm gonna get at it, guys. I'm gonna see if I can try to get on some more fish here. So stay tuned. So I'm gonna fish out here on the deepers, and Chris is over there waiting along that sandbar. We're gonna try to cover as much ground as we can on our way back, and see if we can't find where these guys are hiding out. So I think there might be one little hole where a lot of them are hiding. So we're gonna keep poking around, see if we can find them, y'all. As we're poking around, we are finding some dead fish, and looks like there's a dead shark here, Chris is saying. So wow.
I wonder if that sewer link messed with anything over here.
Yeah. He's dead, yo.
That's a big shark.
That is too big of a shark to just be hit from cold. But I wonder if he trapped himself in here. The tide went out, and maybe they were just too cold to run out with the tide. They just sat here and froze to death overnight.
Yeah, there's no marks on him or nothing.
Yeah. So we decided to push up into this this little creek here. There was some fellas coming out. in a little canoe. He said that they had been seeing some trout up in here and some sharks and stuff like that. So we figured we would pop on through here and see if we can't try to get Chris up on something. So Chris still hasn't caught a fish today, so we need to try to get the skunk off of him. And if I can try to get a trout and a snook back here, I will complete my slam. So we're gonna poke around and see if there ain't some stuff hiding in these deep backwaters. So stay tuned, y'all. Chris finally got a fish. He got himself a little snook, so finally got the skunk off. So at least we both got some fish today. Hey man, at least you got a fish. Got that skunk off finally. Alrighty, y'all, we are calling it a day. We are pulling up back to the launch here at Ponce. We were able to get on some nice red, and Chris was able to get a snook and a trout in that little creek. So between the two of us, we got a slam over this really slow day. The water has just been so cold. It has definitely been some tough fishing out here today, but we were still able to get on something, so we're pretty stoked about that. And yeah, so my best performer today was the Slam Shady 2.0, and it looks like Chris did the best on the power prawn in the Fred color. So still been two good to go baits is the prawn and the Slam Shady 2.0. Smaller baits, slow and low is going to be where to go. So keep poking around, looking for the fish. You're going to want to find some wind protected shorelines until everything starts to warm up. So you find where the fish are, you're bound to catch some more. So I hope you guys like this video. If so, give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Stay salty, y'all.